So we just had a nice and beefy deep dive into Ghost of Yotei, and bro, it's peak. We got Dwayne Johnson The Rock as a new enemy type. We got the Fear Multi takedown from Batman Arkham Knight. We got the story from Kung Fu Panda 2. We got the musket.
You gonna blast your bitch ass in 7 minutes,
yeah?
bitch.
Alright.
Weak ass shot, bitch.
We got the hot springs returning, which, yeah. This might just be my favorite part of the game. I don't know, but that's just me, right? You know we got the doggo. We got standoffs with the doggo. And Sucker Punch looked at Spider-Man 2 and was like, okay, faster web swing, really? You know what we got? Faster horses. And mind you, during that, we got some banging ass music too.
That's right.
I mean, they're even adding in a lo-fi music setting that people can turn on when exploring. We got a new black and white game filter mode for people who are boring. We got new drip. And speaking of the new drip, I'm so happy that they're finally adding like a ninja mask outfit. That should just look so cool. But in this video, I want to talk about some of the gameplay changes they talked about. So first, I want to talk about the combat. The first thing I noticed is that they reworked the stance system and changed it with new weapons. They say each weapon, just like the stances, will be better for different enemy types. But I like this change as it gives more freedom to people who prefer different styles of weapons in combat. And unlike another certain Asian-based game with samurai sword combat, we can actually have access to all of that variety on the fly whenever we want. And not to diss on Sekiro or other Souls-like games, because I like a lot of those games. Love Sekiro. However, I'm always gonna prefer having more variety in combat, you know, always accessible and available for you to use on the fly. But in the bottom right of this image, we can see access to 5 different melee weapons. We got big sword, 2 little swords, staff, and scorpion's chain. And of course, we also have access to a gun now and a bow. And 4 throwables, 3 of which were named, but I don't really know what the 4th one is. They didn't really name it, or if they did, I missed it, I didn't hear it. But it's blinding powder, bombs, and kunais, which is pretty much the same as Ghost of Tsushima. I'm assuming the 4th one would probably be like smoke bombs. But we also got to look at, like, you know, a bunch of new enemy types as well. And something I found really interesting is that there's now weapon disarming for both you and the enemies you fight. I think this is going to be really interesting in boss fights, especially because if there's a boss that a specific weapon works really well against, because, you know, like, the different weapons will work well against different enemy types, then now you could potentially lose that weapon in the middle of a fight and have to adapt on the fly. So all of these combat improvements look really nice. I think the mix of, like, you know, there's going to be perfect dodge attacks, perfect parry attacks, disarming, you know, there's just a lot of variety, you know, and they're just expanding everything Ghost of Tsushima did right. And I'm excited to experiment with all the new improvements and changes they're looking to be making. But moving on, the next thing I was most interested in this game was the other areas that this sequel seems to be improving on. They talked about how there's a big focus on exploration and freedom. It seems like they're taking inspiration from some of the more free open world games in, like, you know, the past few years, like Elden Ring and the new Zelda titles, for example, with how you can go about playing the game with more freedom. I think probably the biggest issue on the gameplay front of Ghost of Tsushima was the side content, so I'm hoping that they're improving this, and I think just the exploration alone, if they're improving the exploration, that will already improve that element of the game. But in general, it just looks like they're adding more freedom, whether it be like freedom for your playstyle with things like specific charms to enhance the playstyle you enjoy the most. There's skill trees for every weapon. You've got bounties that lead to boss fights. There's people you can find throughout the world that you can interrogate and they can lead you to points of interest. That's some of the side content we got to look at. So all of that stuff looks good, and hopefully the rest of the side content follows suit. I mean, they even added like a Sheikah slate, essentially, that you can use to, like, scope out places you want to explore in the distance. You know, the whole buzz phrase of, whoa, you see that thing in the distance? Yeah, you can actually go there. But yeah, this is really nice. I hope it can live up to the freedom that, you know, games like Elden Ring and the newer Zelda games provide when it comes to how you go through the game. And the final thing I want to talk about in this video is what we're going to be looking at while we're exploring. I mean, Ghost of Tsushima already had great art direction, and Ghost of Yotei looks like it's about to have the same thing, just on better hardware. I mean, seriously, the game just looks beautiful on some of these shots. I am interested to see how big the map is actually going to be, because in the opening shot, it does look a little small, but obviously this is just one shot looking at the world. I'm sure there's going to be different things, because because we see different shots of different like biomes, I guess I would describe it as. So obviously the map is definitely going to be bigger than it looks right here. I would talk about the story, but they kind of just they already explained it. Like if you watch the gameplay deep dive, you already know everything they're saying about the story. It's a revenge plot where you fight as a badass Asian girl fucking shit up to find the people who murdered your family. But yeah, that's everything that I wanted to talk about with the new gameplay deep dive. This is my most anticipated game for this year. It has been, since a lot of the other stuff has been delayed, like GTA 6 and Marvel 1943 and Hollow Knight Silksong, which apparently is coming out. I doubt it. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this, and yeah.